In this video, guys, talk a little bit about distractions and distraction recovery as a trader. Stay tuned. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. All right, so listen, we all get distracted in life, as traders especially. Now, at the moment I'm filming this, we've got this lockdown situation. A majority of people are trading from home, even if you trade from an office, even if you trade from a different environment. Normally, most people right now are trading from home, but I know a lot of you trade from home anyway. And the trouble you have is that there is so many things to distract you as a trader. And as human beings as well, we're automatically distracted by things. You know, that's just on human nature. We're shiny object syndrome, or distracted by ads. That's what marketing's all about anyway. But when you're at home, you might be distracted by, perhaps you live with family. Even if you live alone, you can get distracted by your emails, telephone calls, messages coming in, couriers knocking on the door, the thought that you've got to do something around the house or in the garden or whatever it may be. There's just distractions that we have. So we need to come up as traders with, number one, a method to reduce those distractions, because we can't really rely on ourselves to not be distracted, guys. You know, we have to use every tool in the toolbox. You know, it's like when we talk about trading discipline, trying to not get ourselves in a position where we have to use the full discipline in the first place. You know, we talked about analogy perhaps with, you know, if you're eating too much, not having that big cake in the fridge, because then you won't get the opportunity to eat it. You get the idea. So we need to eliminate as much as we can distractions. And number two, have a distraction recovery plan. Because the worst thing you can have is you're waiting as a trader, day trader, swing trader, whatever, you're waiting, you're focusing, you get distracted, you go and do something else, your mind's elsewhere, and you miss an opportunity. Because number one is a missed opportunity you're waiting for, which frustrates you and annoys you. And number two, you can end up then being in a cycle of negative trades because you're trying to get the money back, revenge trade, all those other things that we've talked about before, which just never ever serve you. So the first thing is to avoid distractions. Simply put, guys, just be very strict about who can come in your office. If you've got a trading office, lock it down, put a note on the door, say, hey, you know, when I'm in there, don't disturb me. And that should help with the family member issue if you've got other members of family living with you. Number two, put your phone on do not disturb mode. Now, I know some people want to have an emergency call to come through. I know I'm like that as well. If there's any emergencies, a few people are, if they ring me in an emergency, I don't want to ignore them. And so I know on an Apple phone anyway, you can put on do not disturb and you can have favorites. So favorite calls will come through, but others won't. That means you're not going to get notified of any emails pinging. I don't have any of those on anyway, but any of these notifications just aren't alerting you and distracting you for a split second. Even though you think you're not being distracted by it, you are. So then just put it out of the way. Put it out of reach, because if you're sitting at your desk, you're watching the market, you're waiting for your fill, you're waiting for this, your mind starts drifting, first thing you're going to do is going to grab your phone, you're going to start scrolling through, looking at your emails, doing this, doing that, the other. Just keep it out of the way and have it on that emergency mode. I'm sure there's the same type of thing whether you're using Android or whatever, so that it's out of the way, it's not distracted, but anyone needs to get you an emergency, they can do. Fine. Next thing is, couriers. I try to, at the end of the day, guys, you know, some things are going to happen. You're going to get distracted, but try to reduce any deliveries during the day. Just try to think that, hey, you're doing a very specialist job that needs fully focused concentration. And yes, there is the argument that a lot of the time we're not even doing anything, we're waiting, but that's the point. We have to be on a high state of alert so that when there's opportunity there, we're ready to strike. And we have to be on alert, because we then to recognize opportunity, because it's not as if the market goes, hey, there's opportunity, come and trade me. Very often it's disguised and we don't see it. So distraction management, and I think I've covered this before, where if you can make your environment as conducive as possible to focus, whether you know, some people enjoy music, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. For personally, sometimes I like to have a little bit of music on, whether that's some classical music or something just very lightly in the background to just keep me focused. Sometimes I just prefer silence for a few months. Swings and roundabouts, guys. We're human beings, you know, we have some favorites and not. Anything that just keeps you thinking clearly and relaxed, yet still in a state of alert, so that you can react to trades, you can react to opportunities, you can still be prepared. So remove distractions as much as you can. Right, number two is a distraction recovery plan. Expect to be distracted. Like I say, if there's a courier comes to your door, or someone knocks, or something that you just cannot stop, then you're going to be distracted. So accept that you will be distracted. So minimize the distractions first, and accept that you might be distracted from time to time. So have a distraction recovery plan. The last thing you want to do, and guys, I made this mistake myself, and you may well put your hand up and go, yeah, me too, is to just come back to your screens and go, right, I'm ready. You know, accept that your brain has been switched to something different. Something else has happened. Your attention's been drawn elsewhere. You come back to your desk, you sit down, you stand up, you've got a standing desk, whatever it may be, and then you're at the screens. You should have a very brief, don't have to be long, checklist to get yourself back in mode, trading mode. So whatever that would be for you. So for me, it's going to be something like, okay, what time of day are we? What stocks am I watching? What markets am I watching? What are my positions? What am I specifically waiting for? What do I think the theme of the day is? What is my thesis? You know, what is my plan? And just very broadly, step by step, just reminding myself what I'm doing. Because guys, this is very easy to just get caught up and come back and go, oh, it looks like a great short, when actually your thesis 5 minutes ago before you got distracted was to wait for a pullback to go long. And you tend to forget this. So just reminding yourself what you're here for. You're like, okay, I'm sitting on my hands now until 4 o'clock. I'm waiting for this position to mature. I'm waiting for this stock to do this. I'm waiting for this level to be breached. Right, fine. Now you know. You may well just be sitting there for the rest of the day doing nothing, but at least you know, and it's not going to stop you coming back. And often we come back and we sit down and automatically we go, I need to do something. I've been distracted. I need to recover from that distraction. And our default reaction is to place a trade, because that's the ultimate recovery, right? If we can make a bit of money from being distracted, then great, we're going to feel great again. But it's not like that. You know this, I know this. So have a distraction recovery. It doesn't have to be stupidly long, guys. Just a little 4-5 step process. And once you recognize it, you probably won't have to have it nearby anyway. But once you get into the habit of doing it, been distracted, come back, right, run through my process. I'm back to where I was. I feel like I'm back in the game. And it will help you loads, because if you're like me, you've been through a situation where you get distracted, you come back, then your mind's all over the place with the market. What was I doing? What was I doing? And then you're trading, and it's not conducive to long-term success in the markets. You know, there's little things like this are what helps you recover, helps you keep moving forward, helps you not get caught, because you get blindsided by one or two things, and that can really put you into a spiral of bad trading for a long period of time. And it's funny, sometimes there's one little trigger, and when you work it back and you think about how you got into a spiral of poor trading, you think, actually, was it because I was distracted that day? And you know, it seems extreme, but sometimes it can happen. So anyway, guys, minimize the distractions and have a distraction recovery plan is my advice for you. Very easy to do, not hard to do, and it will serve you, I believe. Take care, keep your risk management. I'll see you next one. Bye-bye.